Hello folks, Steven here and welcome into TK Power Sports. This is a one-of-a-kind Sea-Doo Explorer Pro owned by this guy, Adam Swords. Adam is a Sea-Doo ambassador who I met recently on a trip down to Lake Havasu, Arizona, where I got to review some 2026 Sea-Doo models. If you want to see those videos, they are here on the channel. Right now, I want to dive into Adam's modified Explorer Pro because he's done all kinds of different things to it, and I got a chance to corner him and ask him all about it, and I'm going to bring that to you right now. All right, Adam, thanks so much for taking the time, man. I want to check out this Explorer Pro because you have it kitted out with all kinds of awesome stuff. And I think Explorer Pro is really, it's a blank canvas and then you can go from there. So I want you to go through all of these accessories, all the things you've done, whether it's from Sea-Doo or just things you've done personally, because yeah, what a cool looking rig.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, pretty much everything you see here is the answer to a problem that I was facing out on my adventures. So I do a lot of long range, off grid, just out in the boonies, whether that be on the river, whether that be offshore. I used to live in California. I did a lot of offshore riding, going out to Catalina and the Channel Islands. Right. Now I live out here in Arizona. I'm kind of exploring Colorado. So I've done about 1,000 miles of the Colorado, just camping as I go. But yeah, I mean, happy to walk you around. I guess people like the tip to butt, right? Yeah. So we'll start at the front. So the very, very front, the kind of biggest thing here is this inflatable collar. This thing, honestly, is a game changer on the ST3 hull. So this hull is the same hull that's on the GTX, on the Explorer, the Fish Pro, the RX TX, and it's a bigger hull. It's not as agile as the smaller ones, and so for me, by adding this, even though it did mean that I lost a little bit of that agility in the sharp turns, what it gave me was just so much stability. It gave me a lot of splash protection. I tell people I could put on a tuxedo, ride across the ocean to Catalina Island from Newport Beach, get there and be bone dry and go to dinner. Like, it is amazing how much difference this thing makes.
And then docking as well too, right? Just not bumping into stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you saw when we went to lunch, like everyone's worried about how they can tie up their skis. I just pull up, tie up. I've got my dock lines that are always on here. So if I need to side tie to someone or just go on the dock, it just makes my life so much easier. So like I said, it was a solution to an issue that I had, which was I didn't want to have to keep getting fenders out every time I had to dock the thing, or if I wanted to side tie off to a friend or someone's boat or whatever. It just makes things a lot easier. And it's also really fun when you're riding in a no wake to go behind your friend and you just give them a little nudge and they do. It's like the slowest pit maneuver you've ever seen.
Right, it's nice and soft, you're not doing any damage.
Yeah, exactly. So that's that. Yeah, like I say, dock lines are always on there, so that makes it handy. Then next up, I guess, would be the lights. So I have my running lights in the front, I have navigation lights on the side, and then I have these rigid amber lights here as well. That is more, a lot of people say, well, you can't ride a PWC at night. I know that, but sometimes I leave super early in the morning, right as the sun comes up, and so it's still not super bright. Or sometimes I get back late, and I have had issues where I've been on the river and I've not found a campsite in time, and I was forced to ride after dark. It's not that I want to, but if you have to, I'd rather have them than not have them.
Sure. I could even say today in the bright sun, it's that much easier to identify you from across the water, right?
Yep.
That I can see those lights. So as leading the group today, it made it that much easier too.
Exactly, yeah. So it's more, instead of me being able to see stuff, it's more about people being able to see me, mostly. And like I said, when I do the offshore riding, I did a group ride out to Catalina a few months ago, and we were riding in like pea soup. I mean, you couldn't see from here to that buoy. And so when I was leading, I would turn around when we got to the point, everyone could see the lights flat, because I can set these to all flash as well. Right. So everyone could see the strobing lights, and it just, safety is kind of my thing, you know. If I'm going to be out doing this stuff by myself, I don't want to take risks. Yeah. So I like to be probably over prepared, honestly, but what do they say? 2 is 1 and 1 is none. So
yeah, that's all what adventure's all about, right?
Exactly. So that's the purpose of the lights, and also, they just look cool.
They do look cool. You're not wrong.
So this here is Starlink. So this is by a company called Starbat. So this has got lithium batteries in it, and this contains my Starlink Mini, and then this will power it for up to 24 hours just on the battery. And then I also have a little pigtail back here that I can control from the dash, and that will actually charge the Starlink case itself. I don't have it plugged in right now because we're just out for the day, but that will actually charge this while I'm riding, which means that when we get to the spot we need to get to, I take it off, and I've got 24 hours of internet. So, you know, if you're spending 3 or 4 days off grid, then I can just selectively turn this on, you know, check in, check my emails, do whatever I need to do, and turn it back off again. And you've got pretty much an endless supply of space internet, which is super cool.
Pretty cool. So, and talk me through this bracket here that you built for it, because I know, I mean, this is the Sea-Doo part, right? The bumper around the outside, but the other bracket is not.
Exactly, yeah. So the neon yellow bar comes stock on the Explorer Pro. They also put it on the Fish Pro Apex as well. And what I thought when I saw it the first time was that just needs more things doing with it. Because they put it on here to be able to tie off to be able to, in a situation like this, I can grab it and pull my ski around. Like, it's so nice to have, but also I could see the potential. And so I actually had this all designed. My friend owns a design and production company, manufacturing company. And so the plate under here is actually pretty cool. It's just got a link point on there. So we designed it all to be completely within the design of the, you know, the ski. So it all looks very similar. So when it's off, you know, it really doesn't stand out much, but it just adds that functionality. And so, yeah, this little link accessory just bolts on. So I put this on my Can-Am, I put it on my Switch, you know, it can bolt on anywhere you want. And yeah, the front rack is definitely more for like static loads. I wouldn't put a fuel can up here, but if I was carrying a dry bag with extra clothes or something like that, it's prime. So for me, it's just, again, if some is good, more is better. So I wanted some more storage on here. So that's why I built that. And I'm actually going to be selling these very soon. We're going through, we've got a patent pending on it, and I'm going through the kind of final points of getting it manufactured here in the US, because, yeah, I didn't want it made overseas where I couldn't be sure of the quality. I want it to be good. I want people to buy it once and never have to take it off again.
Yeah, and honestly, that looks like something that maybe Sea-Doo would learn from too, and maybe they'll come out with something. That'd be pretty cool. Right?
No, well,
it's actually official.
Yeah, potentially. Or your viewers can just buy it from me.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. Hey, you're in business.
And then, yeah, if we go up to the dash, you have to excuse the phone holder. This isn't usually on here. This is just for the ride that we're on today. But basically back here, what I've got, I'll leave it on for now. So we've got obviously the standard fish finder and chart plotter, but this is an Icon VHF radio. So this is the kind of thing that you would see on a boat, you know, full-size boat. But this has got AIS built in. So when I'm riding offshore, I can see where the boats are, they can see my position. I've got the microphone speaker, so I can radio people on this. And then the speaker is actually built into the unit, and it's super loud. And that's not even full volume. So when I'm riding, I can hear it. Yeah. And when you're offshore, the amount of stuff you hear when you actually have a VHF radio, like man overboard, or, you know, keep an eye out in this sector, or what, like it's surprising how much traffic there is on these radios. So I like to be able to monitor that. And so I dual monitor. So normally I'm on channel 69 to speak with friends, and then I'm on channel 16 for the Coast Guard. And that way I can kind of hear what's going on with both. Cool. And then moving up to this. So this is the aux beam control panel. So this is what's going to control my lights, what's going to turn my radio on and off. I have a 1200 gallon per hour bilge pump that I installed in this. Again, if I'm offshore somewhere and something goes through the hull or I get an issue, I want to have an insurance policy.
Still make it home.
Yeah. So, or at least stay afloat as long as I can. So the combination of that with the collar gives me a lot of flotation and the ability to pump that water out. And the outlet for the bilge pump is down there. And just in case it couldn't pump itself over the gunnel, I have this handy little guy, and so I just stick it right there, and then that will dump the water out of the hull and out the back. Cool. And then that way I'm not filling up my gunnel.
And everything there is still stock, right? All your storage down in there?
Storage is all stock. The only thing that you'll see is the WeBoost brains, and the reason that that's in there is because I have this WeBoost cell phone booster on the back, which you've probably seen on overland rigs and stuff like that. I'll be honest with you, it doesn't work on this unit because the antenna that gives your phone the signal is too close to that, and so they conflict with each other. So on my next build, I'm doing something different, and also because I have Starlink, I don't need cell service. So that's it was put on there because I was hoping it would work. It's the only thing on this build that hasn't worked as I wanted it to, and it's really not the end of the world because, like I said, we've got space internet now thanks to Elon. So
fair enough.
Yeah, so other than the bilge pump, I have a zombie mode on here. The zombie mode is just the power to that front thing there. I just didn't know what sticker to put on, so I put zombie on there. And then, yeah, moving back, it's all stock. This is all as you expect. This is my VHF antenna from Shakespeare. So this thing just gives me a little bit better clarity, transmits and receives better than just a handheld. And then, yeah, all of this back here is pretty stock. You've got the luggage rack that the Explorers come with that turns your, I believe it turns a 2-piece into a 3-piece link accessory point. And then I just added these little tab things on here just to hold these in place, just so that they don't wobble around too much. Sure. And then when I go camping, what I tend to do is I'll actually take off the rear seat, and then I will stick my dry bag right here, ratchet it down, tie it under here and tie it into that. And then that allows me to run an extra fuel caddy in the middle. And so there I'm able to take 15 gallons if I use the big jugs. These are the small ones, but if I run my big jugs on there, so
and have you often fueled up while you're out on the water? Because it just occurs to me as you're talking, that's actually pretty easy because the fuel cap's right in front of you when you crack that open.
Yeah, right? Yeah. And so the way that I do it, I've either got a little funnel that goes over the end, because trying to use these things is a bit of a pain in the ass.
Totally, yeah.
So I'll stick this over the end, and then that makes my life easier. Or my new toy, a little ball valve. Nice. And so you just stick this in the tank, give it a couple of shakes, and then by the magic of who knows what, yeah, fuel goes from there into there. Nice. And I don't even have to use electricity or anything. Nice. So cool. That's a good little, time saver and also energy saver. Sure. So having to lug the can up high to pour it in. Yeah, and then I also have dual lithium batteries in there from Optima. Okay. So I added a second battery because I'm running a lot more electronics on this thing, but also because I wanted that redundancy. If one battery goes bad, you toast. Right. If you've got two, you've always got a backup. Plus, again, if something was to happen, let's say the hull was taken on water, I'd hit something out in the ocean, and I was sitting there waiting for rescue. Well, I have double the battery power to run my bilge pump if my motor's shut off, so I can keep it going and hopefully keep myself afloat. And
where are the batteries? Down under the seat somewhere?
So the stock battery is right here, so you pull this seat off and it literally sits right there. Right. The secondary battery we installed down here on a custom battery tray. Okay. So that's bonded to the hull, and then that thing is all wired in, so it doesn't go anywhere. They're lithium, they're super lightweight, so it works absolutely brilliant. Cool. And the nice thing about them is the Optima batteries have basically like a fail-safe mode, so that if you drain them down, it will only let them drain to a certain level, and then you have a CPR button. So you hit the button, it gives them just enough juice that it's saved and reserved to get you started. So technically, you should never run your batteries, all the way flat, so you can't get away.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess just my last question is, talk to me a little bit about the way it rides, the way it handles. What do you like about riding your Explorer Pro? What do you like about the platform when you're out on the water?
So, compared to stock, it definitely doesn't carve as well. So if you go into a tight cove, for example, right, with any of these stock PWCs, you give it some gas and whip them around and they'll turn on a dime. Yeah. Now that I've got this extra flotation, it does kind of keep it up a little bit. So you have to plan some of your turns in the tight, if you're going fast, yeah, in the tighter coves. Most of the time I'm not. I mean, this is a boat to go far, not fast. Right. And so I'm not trying to do that type of riding. But you might see me earlier, I was whipping some donuts for the video, and sure, if you really want to, stick it in sport mode and hang over enough and you can whip it around. But sure, the stability, the splash resistance, all of that just completely outweighs the fact that you can't, whip a buoy course as quick. Yeah. Other than that, dude, it rides like stock. I mean, people said when they saw the video when I put it out for the first time, it's going to ride like crap because it's so heavy and you've got so much stuff on it. Dude, not at all. Right. Not at all. Because what you've got to remember is this is technically a 3-seater. Sure. So it's supposed to be able to take, 3 adults. Right. So it's only one of me, and I've lost some weight. So that gives me the ability to carry a bit more fuel and all the rest of it. So yeah, I mean, I honestly, I've not noticed it. I have a bone stock Explorer on my trailer, and when I swap that, if my fiance wants to ride this and I want to ride that one, it really doesn't like feel any different, other than that one's just a little bit more agile.
Nice.
So yeah, I am so stoked with how it's turned out, because I did all of this in one go. Oh, one thing that I didn't tell you about, I can get you footage of it though when it's back on the trailer, is it has extra bars on the intake grate.
Oh, okay.
So it's not going to suck up, or hopefully it's not going to suck up rocks or ingest river debris as easily as a regular one would.
It's funny, I was going to ask you, have you ever used the IDF system? Have you ever needed it?
Yeah. I've been through either kelp, or I've been through like the grass out here in the lake, and it'll get right up in there, and you hit the button, it spins it backwards, you rev it for 10 seconds, and it just blows it out, and it's amazing. That's saved my butt numerous times.
For sure. And I'm sure, like me, you've probably been in the water a lot of times too, back in the day, pulling crap out from the grate. Yeah, so it's the best, man.
No, it's great. I absolutely love this thing. Like, there is, honestly, other than taking the WeBoost off and putting on what I've planned to put on my next build, like, there's nothing I'd change about it, genuinely. And that's, as someone that modifies everything that I have, whether that be cars or watches or my body, like, I love modifying things and making them my own. And I've made a lot of mistakes, and I've done things that have not done what I wanted them to do. And I can very gladly say that this is not one of them.
Awesome. Well, that's it for me, man. I appreciate your time.
Hey,
thanks, Adam.
Thank you very much.
And that's it for this video, folks. So please drop down in the comments, let me know what you think of Adam's Explorer Pro, and make sure you check out my 2026 Sea-Doo reviews here on the channel. As always, while you're down below, don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, hit join, become a member, and then come right back here to TK Power Sports and see what we're testing next. See ya.